And a good crowd showing up here at Little John for this ACC opener. First time since the mid-60s. Clemson and Virginia Tech have began their seasons with a conference affair. P.J. Horn, Amir Sims, and we are underway at Little John. The opening tap controlled by the Tigers, the home team, dressed in all white tonight. Starting five for the Hokies. A lot of new faces, 10 newcomers on the roster this year, Coach.
Keep an eye on number 2, Landers Nolly, former top 100 player and a redshirt freshman. Talent for the Hokies. They need it.
A lot of newcomers for the Tigers as well. In and out the first triple. As Chase Hunter's off the mark, the talented freshman from the Atlanta area. Virginia Tech made the Sweet 16 last year, Paul, but losing so many players, transferring to the NBA, graduating, moving on. It's a different vibe.
A new head coach, new roster, smaller team. They're going to open the lane, shoot threes, drive it to the rim. They don't have a post presence. So offensively, they got to get into the paint via the drive.
Amir Sims with a rebound. Mack, the triple, the transfer from Alabama, started his career in Texas.
And Virginia Tech would love to play fast, Roy. Being small, you want to be quicker than your opponent.
And contact in traffic will put Landers Nolly the second at the stripe. So Tevin Mack picks up his first personal. And you see the production loss from the Hokies program a year ago. Virtually everybody that mattered.
I mean, Mike Young, the new head coach of Virginia Tech, started his job off with 4 players on the roster. He wasn't trying to build a team at that time. He was trying to fill out a roster in April. He put it together with a lot of new faces.
Nolly off the mark with 2 straight. I don't know if Mike Young got a lot of sleep last night. The 17-year head coach from Wofford coaching his first ACC game on the road. By the way, the Terriers just right up the street in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The first points of the night, Alamir Dawes.
Scoring point guard from New Jersey. He's got that 3-point shot. He'll be the point guard right now for Clemson. They're light at that position. Tough spot for a freshman.
Coach,
big time learning curve.
He's a top 100 player, so I know you guys thought really highly of him.
I did, but not as a point guard to start your first game against an ACC opponent. Usually have a few warm-up games to make some mistakes.
In and out for John Newman. The rebound controlled by Nolly. So just underway, the opening night of college basketball season. And a quick trigger from the wing is P.J. Horn.
And that's going to be the style of play this year for the Hokies. Drive it into the paint, take an uncontested layup, or spray it out.
Horn made only 1 triple last year, already with 1 to start this season. That's a good sign.
And there's that hard double team by Virginia Tech. Anything that goes into the post, they're going to double down.
Swig move by Sims inside. He's been the vocal leader for this team going back to their World University games in Italy this summer.
He is the new go-to guy for the Clemson Tigers.
Averaged nearly a double-double in that gold medal trip. Here's a steal, and here comes Hunter. A little up and under move, and Clemson takes an early 7-3 lead.
And Mike Young talked about that this morning at the shoot-around. We really have to limit our turnovers, not just tonight, but all season long. Have a chance to win. I mean, a lot of teams say that. He means it.
Stepped out of bounds, and that could be an indicator of the new 3-point line, which is extended out this season.
Amir Sims, he has come into his own as a Clemson Tiger, a true inside-outside player. 3-point shot, soft touch. And how about the defense for Clemson? They don't press, but they force turnovers by denying the passing lanes and making you cough it up.
You saw the quickness on display there from Chase Hunter. Brad Brownell told us this week he's one of the fastest players that he's signed in his 10 seasons here. Newman off the bounce. Gets it back a fresh 20, puts it up and in. And a 6-0 run for Clemson right out of the gate.
Johnny Newman also expanded his game at the World University Games. Really stepped up for Clemson in that support role with Amir Sims. They're going to need him this year.
Well, it has a conference feel to it. Beatty nearly lost it. Here's Nolly, and a foul against Tyson. That'll be his first. And the Tigers in control early, leading 9-3, Coach.
Scoring from the outside, but Johnny... They lost 2 players right before they left. Jonathan Bear and Clyde Trapp to ACL tears. When you go overseas, you play, you get connected as a team. The confidence level is sky high now for Clemson, going 6-0 against good competition. We're talking about teams that are like strong mid-major teams here to high major type teams.
Newman off the bounce, attacking it off the glass.
Love that little set by Brad Brownell. You're getting Johnny Newman going to his left. He is terrific off the bounce.
He told us this week he's more of the leader by example for this club this year. Amir Sims the leader in terms of being vocal, telling his guys what to do. Nolly the spin, and the pretty finish to make it 11-5.
Well, both Sims and Johnny Newman stepped up their roles from last season. Both were role players. Now they have to be go-to guys for Clemson.
Curran Scott, strong finish at the rack, and Clemson effective on offense in the early going. Tigers have made 5 of 6.
One of the big things Mike Young talked about, we have to stay in front of the ball. And we have to help each other. That time, neither one happened. We don't have a shot blocker in the background. Nobody to erase the mistakes.
There's Hunter Couture, originally committed to Coach Young at Wofford before ending up at Virginia Tech. Nolly puts it up and in. He's got 4.
Nolly could be a double-figure scorer for Virginia Tech.
He's got to be, right?
Yeah, he has to be. Him and Beatty have to score double figures. Virginia Tech is going to struggle this year scoring the basketball.
Hey, how nerve-wracking is it to open with a conference game right out of the gate? We mentioned it at the top, but not easy for either one of these coaches.
No, neither coach was comfortable with it. You know, Mike Young told us at shoot-around, I've coached 500 games, been to the NCAA tournament 5 times, been a head coach 17 years. I'm nervous about tonight.
In and out for Beatty, a battle for the loose basketball. Sick Karam's out. It'll stay on this end.
Johnny Newman, they run that little curl, get Newman to his left hand. A driver by nature, a good defender, came out of an outstanding program in North Carolina. Greensboro Country Day, had a great head coach. Freddie Johnson won over 1,000 games. Well-schooled.
Outside, Nolly, side rim, tracked down by Wilkins, and a fresh 20. Shot clock resets to 20 seconds this season after an offensive rebound. And a step back by Wilkins, no good. Nolly again, short save by Scott, the transfer from Tulsa. A lot of transfer players on both sides tonight, Paul, and that's something that's been quite a trend in college basketball.
Clemson has Kayvon Moore and Tevin Mack, 2 seasoned veterans to put into this lineup.
Seven minutes in, the lead is 6. Nolly, top of the key, and count that when he has 7.
Virginia Tech has to make double-figure threes, not only in this game, but in most games, to make sure that they have a chance to win at the end without a post presence, without a rebounding presence, and without a shot blocker. They're going to depend on that three-point shot. He's going to take 25. They just want to make about 12.
And don't forget, coming up after the exclusive reveal, the first college football playoff rankings of the season. The Champions Classic rolls on. Number 1, Michigan State. Number 2, Kentucky. That's at 99:30 over on ESPN. And we kind of glossed over the big reveal. A lot of people watching this game tonight very interested to see where the Clemson football team may end up in those rankings. I'm going to ask you, the expert, what do you think?
I think they get in, but I think the committee may put in Penn State due to their schedule. I think their schedule may put them in. But if you're looking for a last team, and I hate to use the word last in Clemson football,
be careful, be careful.
In South Carolina, but they may be the last team. in my mind, but the committee, I think, is going to go with Penn State.
And by last team, you mean the last four, the
Yes.
fourth team, rather. As Hunter was fouled by Wilkins, that'll be his first. There's been a lot of debate this week of whether Clemson or Alabama should be ranked ahead of each other. Alabama's schedule equally as, shall we say, porous. And so I'm curious to see where the committee ranks the Tide and the Tigers.
Well, let me ask you a question. Should they go from 4 to 8 in the playoff?
Absolutely. Why have a 14 playoff where you can make twice the money by going to 8? 12:07 to go in our first half. Clemson with a 3-point advantage in this ACC opener. A lot of fresh faces on the floor for both sides. Hunter too strong. Couture the board. And from the corner, counted a big triple. Naheem Aline. And an 8-0 run for the Hokies has tied us up at 13.
Well, the philosophy is very clear for Mike Young. Let's push it on offense as fast as we can. Let's attack the basket. Let's space it out. 5 guys behind the arc. Let's take our chances shooting the 3.
Alex Hemingway checking in for the first time. That's 12 in white for Clemson. Hunter puts it off the glass and spins it home.
It's an exciting way to play. If you're a good shooter, you get a chance to move without the ball, take your open shot, but they have to get some paint defense, Virginia Tech. They're going to try for 3, but they're giving up a lot of 2s in the paint.
They'll work it inside out here. Aline connects from downtown again, and Virginia Tech with its first lead of the night.
And that was such a key to this game, that Virginia Tech gets off to a good start in the first 5 or 10 minutes. First year head coach of Virginia Tech, even though a veteran in the game, a new team.
Hemingway off the bounce, too strong. Jamison battling inside, corrals the offensive rebound.
Big plus for Clemson is on the glass. They have an advantage. They're a better rebounding team than Virginia Tech. They have to take advantage of their size and rebounding ability. Get some extra points, get some extra possessions.
Beatty was hammered, and he hit the deck hard. Foul will go against the Tigers, and our under 12 media timeout coming. Chase Hunter, ESPN 100 member, and the freshman from Atlanta spins it home on open 11-2 run, leading Clemson 16-15. And we mentioned some of the top talent in the country, where it's going, where it's gone. The ACC right now, Coach, leads all conferences in terms of signing ESPN 100 talent.
Well, they lost 10 players last year, Roy, to the NBA draft. A handful of those guys were freshmen. ACC continues to reload in recruiting.
And some familiar names at the very top in terms who signed the most, and a couple of surprises coming up we'll get to at halftime tonight. Out of the timeout, 10 to shoot for Virginia Tech. Hokies made the Sweet 16 last year. A lot of new faces this season and a new coach. Beatty off the bounce. And with a kind roll off the rim.
The junior from Massachusetts with a shot clock in his head. He's at 2 seconds. He knew to get it off. The most experienced player that came back for Virginia Tech.
Drought now for Clemson. Dawes left open for a moment, and he connects. Tied at 18, and both teams starting to heat up from downtown.
Tell you what, Dawes shot it really well in practice yesterday. Brad Brownell really excited about this freshman as a playmaker. You can get points out of him. That's a plus.
Virginia Tech shooting 53%. Wilkins off the mark, tracks it down. Beautiful dish inside for the basket. P.J. Horn connects.
Clemson's in a tough situation because when Virginia Tech shoots it, it's usually a long jumper. That means a long rebound. You can't rebound in the paint. You got to step out, take out some real estate to get that loose change off the basket.
Here's Tevin Mack from the corner. Back iron, and a foul inside will go against Horn.
Well, you get an offensive rebound. You find it, and you find your open man. You see how quickly Virginia Tech wants to attack. They don't want to play against a set defense because they're smaller, because they don't score so well inside. They want to play fast. They want to play at a pace where they can shoot it quick, and if they miss it, they're okay with getting back. They're just going to continue to shoot threes and get into that paint.
Kayvon Moore checking in for the first time, a transfer from Texas Tech. And a foul as Dawes attack. That'll go against Beatty, his first.
I thought Beatty moved his feet pretty well. That was kind of a touchy foul. Mike Young right in front of us wasn't happy with that. I mean, come on, this is football country. You didn't hurt anybody and there's no blood. There can't be a foul.
Hey, it's called freedom of movement in 2019, Coach.
Oh,
Mack
nice.
inside his first basket as a Tiger.
Tevin Mack started his career at Texas, went to Alabama, now back home. He's from South Carolina, from Columbia.
Greer High School, the Blue Devils down in the Midlands.
A top 50 player out of high school, really good three-point shooter. And Mike Young is into shot selection. Nothing quick unless you're wide open.
Wide open and way off. Here come the Tigers. Dawes in transition. Bit out of control. Tied at 20. Nice flow developing between these two. Nolly connects. Well, he was out last season, unable to qualify academically, and now his first collegiate game. Impressive. He has 9 points so far.
And coming out of high school, Roy, he led the state of Georgia for points scored in 2018. He can put it in the bucket.
Sims tried to wrap it around, and he comes up short. Wilkins left open. And Sims corrals for the Tigers. Brad Brownell issuing instructions. They'll slow it down. Mack from the corner. And Tevin Mack with 5.
Only shot 30% this summer in Italy for Clemson in the World University Games, but he's made some big shots at Alabama. He went 6 for 8 against Kentucky from 3. You know he can light it up.
Contact, no whistle. Moore got there for the rejection. Here's Dawes probing. Mack a heat check. Count it! Tevin Mack with 8, all coming in the last 2 minutes. And a 6-0 burst for the Tigers. 6:59 to go. And a fast-moving first half. And a timeout on the floor. And coming up, our Paul Biancardi will check in an ACC opener here on the road in Clemson, South Carolina. Tigers lead it by 4. And anxious to hear what Paul heard.
Well, that was a huddle of many things. Mike Young went philosophical on them. Told them, say, look, we got to take a stand. We got to hold the line. We got to get back on defense. It was motivational. He was saying words of confidence to them, gave them the next play right here, and at the same time really harped on scouting report defense. Tevin Mack is a shooter, number 13 for Clemson. Gave up 2 3-point shots. He talked about scouting report defense. He said, we're okay, fellas. We're okay. Expect that kind of run on the road.
Nolly with 11. That'll trim the lead in half, 26-24. Clemson going to a zone on that possession for the first time tonight. Hemingway left open. Coach, we watched Alex Hemingway shoot probably 20 or 30 shots yesterday in practice. I don't know that he missed a single one.
He made about 30 or 40 of those. Do the math on that, Roy. But I'll tell you what, that Virginia Tech huddle was so impressive because it's such a young huddle. He has to give his team confidence. He has to let them know things are all right. Stick with the game plan. Pay attention to scouting reports. Fabulous huddle by Mike Young.
Radford running out of shot clock off the side of the rim. Moore will feed Sims. Action's been fast and furious so far. It's been an entertaining start to the basketball season. First shot for Kayvon Moore is too strong.
A lot of quick shots. Not a lot of grind on offense. Teams are moving that ball quickly. They're cutting. 2 exceptionally well-coached teams in terms of movement without the ball.
Couture lost the handle and sends that pass out of bounds. Well, I was going to ask you, does it feel like a league game?
No question.
Yeah.
You can feel the intensity from Mike Young to his team. Of course, he never mentioned the word This is an ACC game. Brad Brownell, he felt that this morning, obviously, at shoot-around. You could see he had a different personality than he did last night. This morning at shoot-around, a little bit more realizing the fact that, hey, we're opening up with league play right now.
And you wake up this morning, you feel that right away. Brad Brownell just 2 years removed from a trip to the Sweet 16. We're showing some of the highlights here before tip.
Coach of the Year in the Colonial Conference and the Horizon League.
Mack a rare miss, and Newman over the back will pick up his first.
Now, these two coaches, in many ways, Roy, are clones of each other. Half-court offense, cutting, screening, ball movement, player movement. And Clemson under Brownell has been excellent defensively, one of the best teams in the nation year in and year out defending the ball.
Mike Young has never beat Brad Brownell, but the two coaches rather kind of got their starts at the same time. Mike Young at Wofford, Brad Brownell at UNC Wilmington. That goes back almost 20 years.
They've known each other a long time. Really good friends until Mike Young got the job at Virginia Tech.
Hokies in their motion offense. Horn left open for a moment. Nolly, baseline, silky smooth operating down there.
Tell you what, that ball moved from the right side to the left side of the floor. You reverse it, you're going to get good shots.
Fifth time tonight that we've been tied. Hunter, the skip pass. Hemingway, that's his spot. And Clemson fans are going to find that out in a hurry this season.
Right now, the country does not know about Alex Hemingway. A couple of games into college basketball, you are going to know his name, folks. A lights-out three-point shooter from Newburgh, Indiana.
Tigers back out in front by 3. Wilkins tried to change it and could not. Sims working on that shot this summer, and it pays dividends there.
Love the way Amir Sims has just improved his game from the outside. And the confidence to stop behind the arc and knock it down.
We've had 10 threes already made in this game. We still have almost 4 minutes to go in the first half. Jalen Cone, he responds.
That's a good sign for Jalen Cone. Originally thought of to start at the point guard position. He's come off the bench. He's got to give Virginia Tech some defense, some playmaking ability.
Hemingway's pass was picked off inside. Wilkins and Nolly got there. Cone on the other end, too strong.
Great speed by Cone in the open floor. The freshman just a little too strong.
Here's Tevin Mack. And Sims went for a ride on the back of Wilkins. Isaiah picks up his second. And a timeout on the floor. Amir Sims, the vocal leader, and now three-point maker for the Tigers.
And that's in conversion. He is fitting in with this team. Johnny Newman told us yesterday, Tevin Mack has fit in, great teammate, just trying to help the team in any way he can. A lot of guys come in on their last season trying to make a name for themselves. Not Tevin Mack, he's trying to help this team win.
10 to shoot. Tigers back on offense with a three-point advantage. Dawes has been effective early. Off the glass and a chance for 3. Well, I see why you guys liked him so much in the recruiting rankings. He's got some quickness, some hops, and a pretty good outside shot.
Well, the Tigers are supposed to be a little light at the point guard position. Alamir Dawes understands the balance between when he should score and when he should facilitate. Like his speed, decision-making ability, and his focus. Very focused yesterday at practice, shoot around this morning, stayed after to shoot extra shots.
Clyde Trapp was supposed to be the starting point guard for this team game 1 right out of the gate, but he tore his ACL earlier this year. He's expected back probably by January, so that puts Dawes in the spotlight. And tonight, in an ACC game, he's responded well.
Clemson still waiting for Nick Honor, the transfer from Fordham, to be eligible. There's supposed to be a two-headed monster in the backcourt between Honor and Dawes. A lot on his shoulder as a freshman. Responded well tonight, and it's an ACC conference game.
Last foul went against Beatty. That's his second. It'll stay on this end with 15 to shoot for the Hokies. Already 11 made threes between these two teams. 2.5 to go in the first half. Fun start to the season. 5 to shoot for Virginia Tech. Top of the key, Horn, desperation, way too strong. And the buzzer goes off. Shot clock actually should have reset.
Should go to 20 when that ball hit the rim. I mean, that was an outstanding defensive possession by Clemson. It's hard to cover those guys from Virginia Tech. They spread out, they shoot, they space out. You got to chase them all around the court.
Our veteran officiating crew tonight, Bill Covington, Bert Smith, Lee Cassell. Go review that last sequence. Ball clearly hit the back iron, which should reset the shot clock, and the shot was gotten off in plenty of time, Coach. So they're trying to determine if there was a timing mistake of some sort that occurred. The buzzer went off.
Well, to me, the shot clock failed to restart when the ball hit the rim, and I think that's what the officials are trying to figure out.
I love it when you're in midseason form. Game 1.
Got to be ready, Roy.
Yes, you do.
You can't get ready, you got to be ready. Now you see 15 on the shot clock. Seeing that ball hits the rim, the shot clock should automatically go back to 20. Yep. They'll make that change.
So about 2:26 remaining in the first half. Fresh 20 seconds for the Hokies to go back to work on offense. By the way, Virginia Tech picked 14th in the ACC preseason poll this year. Clemson 11th in a conference that's expected to have lost obviously some star power in life after Zion Williamson. And after that review, they're going to say there's a foul on Tevin Mack. That'll be his second.
One of the things that you can review at the table, if a foul occurred prior to the shot clock violation. Let's see. That ball hits the rim.
Mack had grabbed him for a moment. It appeared to be a hook and hold situation.
Looked more like a hook. No hold.
And a three-pointer by Landers Nolly. He remains on fire with 16 first half points. That'll slice that advantage in half again.
I'm not sure I like that rule where you can call a foul on a review of the shot clock.
I tend to agree. Baseline, Sims in and out. And a chance now for Virginia Tech. Get all season to talk about that. Aline. Here's Dawes.
Nice.
Spots Newman.
Nice find by Dawes. He really pushes that ball with speed in the open floor. Good shot for Clemson.
Approaching 90 seconds to go in our first half. Landers Nolly leading all scorers with 16 points. He's matched the rest of his teammates in this first half. Sims another board. Lamir Sims now with 10 rebounds.
He has a chance to be a double-double guy for Clemson. Points and rebounds. He's got to stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble.
Lean in transition. Can't finish.
Roy, I don't remember a block shot in this game. Each team getting to the rim with ease.
Right after Kansas and Duke, right before Michigan State and Kentucky. Reese Davis and company will break it down from top to bottom, plus a live interview with committee chairman Rob Mullins. Get your questions ready because there's going to be a lot of them after those top 5 teams are revealed, and especially the top 4, who's in, who's out. And by the way, Coach, we got a lot of football left to be played, so typically it works itself out. Hunter, the bounce. Chase Hunter, the freshman.
He's got some speed, Chase Hunter. How about this freshman backcourt right now for Clemson? Chase Hunter, Alameda Dawes. That's a lot to ask for in an ACC game.
8-second differential between game and shot clock. Tigers lead it by 5. Newman. And Virginia Tech, Paul can play for the final shot of the first half.
Well, we'll see, you got a freshman point guard in Jalen Cone. He's got to know that the Hokies need to take that last shot.
Nolly with time. 4 seconds to go. Forces one up and connects. Foot was on the line. That's a long 2. And Landers Nolley has waited a long time to play college basketball. We're seeing just how good he can be here in this first half tonight. He's got 18.
The redshirt freshman can stroke it. He got isolated at the top of the key, made a contested shot. It gives the Hokies a little momentum going into the locker room at halftime. Just a pick and pop. Comes to a jump stop. 2 defenders. Nolley knocks it down.
Well, a big first half for the redshirt freshman out of Atlanta. And an entertaining first 20 minutes in the books. Tigers lead at 37-34.
We're between the 2 groups. Amir Dawes finding Tevin Mack in the corner. Big time 3-point shooter out of high school. Virginia Tech coming right back at you. Knocking it down from deep. How about this, the freshman, Hunter, to Sims, the upperclassman, in transition. Clemson scoring quickly behind the arc.
I do want to clarify 1 point from the first half. Chase Hunter for the Tigers, not an ESPN 100 member, but was designated 4 stars. I want to make sure I get it right.
You're sitting next to the guy, Roy, and I called you out on that off the air. I'm glad you corrected yourself.
Had to. Hokies basketball to start the second half. An outstanding defense back to Clemson. All right, so adjustments at halftime. If you're Mike Young, game 1 in the ACC after 17 years at Wofford, what are you telling your guys?
Let's stay with this game plan. We're not getting to the free throw line very much, but let's continue to have good shot selection for the threes. Only 4 turnovers. Mike Young said we got to get 10 to 12 or less in the turnover department.
Beautiful dish inside, and Amir Sims connects.
And I think Brad Brownell figured out at halftime, hey, we got to attack Virginia Tech on the inside. Nice that Sims could make a 3. Let's pound it into the big fella on the block.
Sims with 7. Here come the Hokies trailing by 5.
If you remember, they went inside early. Virginia Tech doubled the post, and you're going to see that if you throw it in. I love that first play by the Tigers.
5 on the shot clock. Crowd comes to life. Desperation heave. Contested triple, and Mack fouled him. 3rd on Tevin Mack, and Virginia Tech bailed out with that call. That'll be 3 free throws.
Great defensive possession. Let's see what Mack, he gets the contest. That looked clean. I disagree with that call. That was leather. Hand on leather, play on.
Wilkins at the line, 74% a season ago. Chance to make it a 1-possession game. I mean, these 2 teams are known for playing close, more lower scoring, defensive slugfest kinds of games. Hasn't been that way so far tonight, although it has been close.
It's been free flowing on the offensive end, but they grind you on defense. Each team is pressuring the ball. Clemson a little bit more trying to deny passes. They want to get some transition baskets, Clemson. Got to do it from their defense.
Mack checks out with the 3 personals. Hunter Tyson back in.
On the other hand, Virginia Tech, they need 5 guys to rebound. If they have a break, they're going to take it, but they're going to walk it up.
1 of 3 at the line for Wilkins. The lead is 4.
Nice little rip cut to a ball screen.
Tyson left open.
That ball moves by Virginia Tech. They don't hold on to it too long.
Nolley continues the hot hand. Landers Nolley in his first collegiate game. He's got 20.
And the rest of the team, they have 16. Sorry, 17 combined.
Hunter a couple of pump fakes. And Chase Hunter wants that one back. First-year players all over the place for both sides tonight. Nolley double team. Sweet look inside the horn. Wave off the basket. Tried to jam it home. Couldn't finish.
He's on the rim. The ball's over the cylinder. And he's slapping it back home. Now, if he was playing in the World University games, like Clemson did, that would be 2 points. See, you go to Europe, play FIBA, that's 2 points.
We heard a lot of those stories this week leading into this contest.
He missed the dunk because you got to let the ball go when you're over the rim.
Right. So a technical foul is called. This is a massive swing in mojo. Set of 2 for the Hokies. Tyson now gets a free throw on the other end.
And they'll get the ball back.
And neither team shooting strongly at the stripe. As Tyson goes out. Kayvon Moore back on the floor. What do you make of Kayvon Moore and kind of what his upside is long term? Because when the Texas Tech was injured, broke his leg, now healthy. You guys really thought highly of him when he was being recruited.
Big time athlete, Kayvon Moore. Working on his skill level. Good playmaker. I consider him a point forward type. Really good passer.
Sims. Short.
But you know, Kayvon Moore is rusty, Roy. And he only played a few minutes at Texas Tech. You got to get your feet under you. You got to get your timing. And he hasn't played with these Clemson players very much.
Good look outside. Sweet ball movement. Couture off the mark. Hokies get a fresh 20. Wilkins left open. Big shot here, and he connects. Virginia Tech back in front, 40-39.
Isaiah Wilkins, 41% from threes last year.
And the first lead for the Hokies since it was 22-20. And a chance to expand that advantage. Wilkins out of control on the charge. That'll be his third. Hunter got there in plenty of time, got the feet set.
Now you see why Brad Brownell's teams are so good defensively. That's a freshman, folks. Understands to step in, square up his shoulders, take it on the chest for the good of the team. And that's been done in practice. Clemson's had 32 practices coming into tonight's game. Defense has been stressed.
I think that's an understatement for a Brad Brownell coach club. Newman left open. Sweet find, and there it is. Newman connects from downtown. He's got 7.
We talked about the injuries that Clemson has to battle. When Trapp and Beer come back in January, this team's going to have a potent offensive team. Beer will give him a shot blocker. Trapp more shooting. Development of Sims, the freshman, Chase Hunter.
Nolly in traffic. A rare miss. Newman the rebound.
And Newman can do this. Take it off the glass and push it.
May have gotten away with a travel. A spin by Newman in traffic and a chance at the line.
Dawes, great find, gets it into the paint. How about that spray out? He gets deep onto the rim, defense collapses. Newman with his feet ready. Big improvement for Johnny Newman from the arc.
55% at the line a season ago was Newman. He'll get one more. The one thing I'll tell you about tonight, Coach, I love the atmosphere. Students got here a little late, but they packed out their seats by the end of the evening. And the fact that it's a league game, we've mentioned that obviously several times. It's a lot different than if you bring in Cupcake State to play game 1. I like it. The coaches may not like it, but I think it's great for the sport.
I think you're 100% right. It brings that different level of intensity, that juice. We talked to the players yesterday from Clemson, Sims, and Newman. They're excited about it. They understand the ramifications of winning a conference game, especially on opening night.
Well, you win tonight, you're in a tie for first place for at least, what, 3 or 4 weeks?
And Clemson coming off, you know, the World University Games, gold medal. They won 6 games. Their confidence is high right now. They're getting tested by the Hokies.
Lead is 4. Plenty of time to shoot for Virginia Tech. Nolly, the catch and shoot, and he spins it in. 23 points in his Virginia Tech debut.
Well, Mike Young has found his go-to guy for the Hokies.
And a foul outside will go against Nolly. Ready for 2019 to have all those extra practices and chemistry time together.
Normally when you go on a summer trip, you get 10 practices, 10 days of practice. because it's under the umbrella of USA Basketball, they were unlimited in their practices from after the Final Four until they left in July. That type of practice time can prepare you for the season. You get a chance to see possible lineups, player development, and as Brad told us at shoot-around, when they're in the championship game, he said, you know what? We got a chance to represent our country for a gold medal, fellas. Let's go for it.
High off the glass. A couple of Hokies skying for the board. Ojiako lost his balance in a foul against Clemson.
I've taken one of those trips overseas before, and our team that year went to the Elite Eight at Boston College. We were older. You have a young team like Clemson, you can develop that chemistry earlier, terminology, concepts. Everybody can get to know each other a little bit faster.
Foul went against Scott. And to your point, it's almost like you had preseason camp in the NBA, where you get a chance to see all of the different combinations, feel out what's good, what's not so good with your club. And then you get to build on top of that as preseason actual camp gets underway, way back in September.
Yeah, and team chemistry is building every day you're on the road together.
Sure. Virginia Tech trails by a point. Landers Nolley, if you're just tuning in, has been rock solid with 23, but he travels here and harassed that time by Trey Jamison.
Yeah, Clemson sent the double on the catch. I like the adjustment there. As soon as Nolley put his hand on the ball, two were on him.
Dawes feeds Hemingway. Made 1 3 in the first half, off the mark there.
Boy, every time number 12 in the white shoots it, you think it's going in.
Newman couldn't finish at the rack.
You said that yesterday.
Now look at the hustle, both sides. It'll stay on this end.
Beatty's a small point guard, 6 feet. He's got to understand when he gets into the paint, that jump stop, secure the ball. Great hustle to get on it. Keep the possession for the Hokies.
He's really been more of a lockdown defender the last 2 seasons. Wabisa Beatty. He's going to have to score more this season with so many newcomers on Mike Young's roster.
He played in a great summer basketball program called the Mass Rivals. Really learned how to compete. I think that's really helped his development and his success at Virginia Tech.
Hokies back to work. Nolley left open. And Jamison skies for the rebound.
And that was a grown man's rebound by Jamison.
He's a true 7-footer. Stop and pop. Dawes! Alamir Dawes in double figures. He's got 11.
And the freshman with 9 at halftime. He looks comfortable just shooting the rock or giving it up. I like his demeanor right now. Most freshmen in an ACC game, not ready.
Aline fires, back iron. And Virginia Tech starting to cool down from downtown. Dawes penetrating. Nolley. Nearly traveled. And a jump ball. Arrow favors the Tigers.
Nolley has to understand when he touches it, 2 guys are coming right at him, so it's got to be a quick pass out or a back dribble, but you just can't stand there and hold it. Guys are going to trap you and try to get that jump ball.
Landers Nolley, former 4-star prospect, redshirt freshman from Atlanta. His team trails by 3 on the road. Opening night of college basketball. Dawes left open. Here come the Hokies. Nolley again from the wing. Count it! And that one all net. 26 points on the board for number 2.
Nolley comfortable behind the line. Gets his feet set so quick. And the release is fast. Nice slip.
Jamison lost the handle. Back to Virginia Tech. We've had 5 ties tonight, 5 lead changes, and Landers Nolley has been on fire.
Well, the redshirt freshman, it's a career night. Knocking it down behind the arc, scoring inside, playing like an upperclassman.
If you're Brad Brownell, you're trying to figure out who can we move out there on Landers Nolly. I don't know that it matters.
Well, I think Johnny Newman is the matchup, and that's who's on him right now. 15 in the white, and they just switched.
Couture. Mack controls. So Tevin Mack back on the floor with 3 personals.
Great spacing by Clemson. They just play that game in a square.
Not sure the shot clock actually reset, Coach. Only 2 seconds remaining, and that clearly is an error. And our veteran officiating crew will stop the action to take a look.
Second time tonight.
And they're going to add 14 seconds. Move the shot clock to 17. It was about ready to expire before the error was caught. And I like how quickly they moved there. No video review. We need to add time back on.
Well, that was clear, but people that are working the clock this year have to understand that every time that ball hits the rim, you're pressing that button, reset.
But I think the difference is it reset to 20 seconds when they were thinking it was an offensive rebound. It should go back to 30 when the defense claims the board. And by the way, I like that rule change in the sport this year, too.
Just makes the game a little bit faster.
Sims turns it over. Tied at 46.
They are hugging Nolly tight. There's Tevin Mack up on him now.
Nolly. Good defense that time by Mack. Newman in transition outside. Sims off the mark. And a fresh 20 now for the Tigers.
Neither team shy from behind the arc. Let's put it up. First game of the year.
Why not?
Love that ball movement. Look at that. Left side, back to the right side. Spacing. Well-coached team. Clemson Tigers. He can beat you off the dribble. Gets that little pull-up game at 6'7". But he gets his feet set really quick behind the arc. Has a fast release. He's confident. He's poised. And he's a redshirt freshman.
Clemson scored 9 points so far in the second half. Nolly by himself has 8, tied at 46 in this ACC opener in Littlejohn Coliseum. Out of the timeout, Tevin Mack, the step-back jumper. And not the shot Brad Brownell wanted. It's controlled by Virginia Tech.
I'd like to see the Tigers go inside a little bit more in a post-up game to Sims, or even possibly Tevin Mack on a post-up.
Level of play so far for both teams been impressive to you for a season opener?
Well, the three-point shooting's been exceptional, but I love the lack of turnovers. Each team right now single digits. It's a well-played game.
What you would expect in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
I'll tell you where I'm impressed. The Hokies +1 in the rebounding department. Smaller team.
Should be one of the smaller teams in the ACC this year. Mack forced that one up. Now with 10.
Yeah. That's where the advantage lies for Clemson. Right where it says ACC and N. Get that ball into the paint and operate.
Tigers on top by a basket. Here's Cone. 7 to shoot.
They just stay in their stance, the Tigers. They don't give you anything.
Nolly off the mark. Here comes Clemson. Approaching the halfway point of our second half. High ball screen for Dawes. He'll pop it over to Sims. And the smallest man on the court claims the board.
Yeah, but he's got a big heart, Jalen Cone. He loves to push it in transition, just trying to learn the game in the half-court set. He's got to be better at reading situations.
Hokies without a point in the last 3 minutes. They'll try to change that here. They will not. Mack the rebound. First time since the 1960s these teams have opened up a conference game.
Oh, I thought he was open on the curl.
Hunter didn't take it. Dawes will. Sims. They're going to pose the question, should the shot clock have reset? I don't think that shot hit the rim. Caromed off the backboard. Sims got there in a hurry. It should be Clemson basketball, but the shot clock, Coach, I don't believe should have reset in that sequence.
If the ball does not touch the rim, there's no reset. No, that hit the glass to the left. That is no reset. Clemson ball, baseline out of bounds. Both angles, no touch.
Mid-season form for our camera crew. Nicely done. That rebound by Sims, by the way, new career high. 14 boards tonight. We asked him yesterday, I said, Amir, it sounds like a lot of people are expecting you to be a double-double machine this season. He smiled and he said, double-double machine, really? Because I kind of like that.
When I watch him play, Sims, you see the third replay, that ball did not touch the rim. He reminds me of a queen on a chessboard. You got to move him different directions, different parts on the floor. He can be effective right under the basket, put it behind the arc, at the free throw line, as a screener. 8 seconds now on the shot clock.
(48-46). We've been stuck right here around 46 points the last couple of minutes. The handoff to Dawes. Lightning fast, out of control that time.
Yeah, lost sight where he was.
Here's Radford. Aline, well short. A late whistle. Free throws coming for number 4. Naheem Aline, the freshman from Buford, Georgia, will shoot 2.
What I liked about that possession, Virginia Tech didn't just settle for the 3. Aline took that ball as he was curling into the lane. When you shoot the 3 well, floor's going to open up. You can't stay outside and just settle and jack it up. That's when you drive it into the paint, have a chance to get fouled.
A chance to tie this one up. A couple of free throws. One more coming. And don't forget, tomorrow night, star-studded NBA Wednesday doubleheader starts in H-Town at 7:30 Eastern with the Warriors taking on James Harden. Russell Westbrook in the Rockets. Then it's off to Staples Center. Kawhi and the Clippers. Giannis and the Bucks. Our coverage starts with Stephen A's pregame Sports Center at 7 on ESPN and also the ESPN app. Stephen A was on campus here at Clemson about 3 weeks ago. Dabo Swinney did a fantastic impersonation on the fly. That was blasphemous, I believe is what he said. It was fantastic.
Do we have footage of?
It's on social media somewhere right now. But
how did that feel to say Russell Westbrook with the Rockets? Come
it's
on.
different.
Tell me.
Too strong for Hunter. They're going to be tough to beat. Woo! Very tough. Naheem Aline inside. Wraps it around. A late whistle. I'm going to say he stepped out.
Mike Young wants a push. He's trying to work the official on the baseline.
I saw you trying to work this veteran crew earlier. I had to remind you, Coach, you're not coaching anymore.
No.
You're on our side.
I just want to make sure I don't get any technical fouls from this crew. I have a reputation. Nice pass. You see the way Sims, when he doesn't have a scoring opportunity, can just simply facilitate. And Clemson has to play to him and through him the rest of the way out.
Radford off the dish. And a blocking foul. That'll go against Hemingway. That'll be his first. And more free throws coming for Virginia Tech.
Notice Virginia Tech a little more aggressive in the last couple of minutes. Taking it to the rack. Trying to get that layup opportunity. Maybe the possibility of a three-point play the other way instead of behind the arc. I like the aggressiveness by the Hokies.
First free throw of Radford's career. Redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I mean, go up and down this roster. Freshman, redshirt freshman, transfer. A lot of new guys. Same you can say about the Tigers of Clemson.
No Marquise Reed. Shelton Mitchell has moved on. Eli Thomas playing overseas. 10 newcomers for Virginia Tech. Almost the same number on the other side. And Virginia Tech back out in front. And Paul Clemson just 1 for its last 10 from the floor. Sims double team. Hunter will reset. 6 to shoot. Sizes one up. Contact, a late whistle, and a foul against Beatty. That's going to be his third, and 3 free throws coming for Clemson. And those free throws coming up after this timeout. What a time to be alive. Hoops is right now his team playing pretty well on the road.
I think they're playing excellent defense for such a young team. That's the last part of your team that really comes together. People think defense is effort, and it is, but terminology, angles, understanding rotations, that takes a whole season. 10 new players, I'm impressed right now.
He has worked up quite a lather.
He's going through towels right now.
He's going through towels, he's going through water, and he's getting after it. He told us, you know what, it feels a little different, as it should. Coaching in the Power 5, if you will, but in the ACC, the toughest basketball conference in the country. A little different than what he's experienced back in the SoCon in his days at Wofford. And by the way, he was outstanding there over that tenure. Guys like Fletcher McGee, tournament appearances, conference titles.
One thing I can guarantee you, his teams at Virginia Tech in the future are going to shoot the ball at a high level. They're not going to turn it over, and shot selection will be good. They called Beatty for that foul right there. That was the free throw. That was the foul they called on Lasaba Beatty.
Well, an extended review session here as Hunter is at the line and obviously trying to figure out whether or not his foot was on the line on the foul.
Yeah, you see that right foot. You can see a gap between his sneaker and the dark line.
One of the new rules in college basketball, the extended three-point arc. Documented that at halftime tonight. Clearly a 3 as Hunter awaits the final verdict. So less than 8 to go, opening night.
And I like the way the officials, they don't know. They don't have to go to the monitor, but they are going to it to determine whether or not it was a 3 and whether it's 2 free throws or 3.
And we've talked about the reset of the shot clock to just 2 seconds on an offensive rebound in the front court. A rule that clearly has been met with universal approval.
Maybe next, widen the lane. Move the line back even to the NBA line. Give the high school game a shot clock. Come on, let's be progressive.
Back on the soapbox already.
I mean, let's make the lane wider. Three-point line deeper. It's going in that direction. It really is. Look, we're going to pay guys soon. Compensate them, whatever the word is, for their name, their image, and possibly their likeness.
Hunter misses all 3 free throws, so a break for Virginia Tech. Hokies basketball with the lead.
Tough spot for a freshman. You're on the line. You got to make 3. Tight game. National TV, your first game.
Tigers 3 of 7 from the line this evening. Big possession now for Virginia Tech on the road. Wilkins launches. And Dawes clears.
Tell you what, Clemson contests shots as well as anyone in the country.
It's been a different game in the second half. Much more of a grind, much more focus on the defensive end. In and out for Dawes. A fresh 20. Sims missed the chippy.
Clemson's been cold in the second half from 3. Virginia Tech a little more aggressive, not settling for the 3, getting to the rim, trying to create.
Hokies without a field goal, nearly 7 minutes. Clemson just 1 of 10 from bonus land in the second half.
But their defense has been outstanding. How long can they defend without scoring is the question.
Nolly. Contested triple off the mark.
Another contested shot.
All right, if you're Clemson offensively, what are you trying to dial up here?
I want to get the ball inside, mid-post, low post to Sims. I don't want a jump shot on this possession. I want a paint touch. I want a paint touch and some paint points.
Newman with a kick out to Sims, baseline, and he connects. Tigers back in front.
Or I'm going to my new go-to guy, Amir Sims. See, that's what you love about Sims. To put that strong body inside or face up and knock it down.
Late whistle and free throws coming for Naheem Aline. A patient attack of the rim pays off.
Newman facilitates. Sims steps away from the paint. He's got that mid-range game. We saw the three earlier in the first half. Love his production, and he has a new role in this team. He has become the go-to guy for Clemson.
9 points, 14 boards for Sims. One more free throw coming. We're tied at 50.
You notice in the second half, Virginia Tech a little more aggressive with that drive. Getting to the line, not shooting well. Only shooting 50% from the free throw line in the second half.
Hokies back in front. Aline checks out. Couture back on the floor, and a nice round of applause from the Virginia Tech fans in attendance tonight. Under 6 to play.
Mike Young said to me on the phone, just want to be in a position to have a chance at the end. This team's getting there.
Mack loads one up. In and out a couple of times.
A good block out.
Nolly with 26. Rejected by Tevin Mack. Back on the attack, an air ball. Out of bounds, it'll stay on this end.
Big time block by Tevin Mack. Watch this. Landers Nolly puts the body into him. The rise up. Tevin Mack just puts it on the eraser board. Great defense. Hands straight up, but that ball hits the floor. You got to get it. Chase Hunter. The defense for the Tigers have locked into Nolly. They've double teamed him. They've covered him tight in the second half.
And a foul in the backcourt. Nolly tried to corral it. Sims made contact. And the crowd here can't believe it. The first on Amir Sims.
And that's one you don't want 50 feet from the basket. I like the aggressiveness, but you got to back off. Close game. Referees have called this game tight. Virginia Tech in the bonus.
And the second half in which both teams struggle to score. That could be a big factor. An open look off the pump fake. Long two is all net. 28 on the board. And that was Landers Nolly.
That was a set play for Landers Nolly. Come behind the penetration. Screen for him. Beautiful.
Back iron for Dawes. Rebound to Virginia Tech with a 3-point lead.
Playing through those elbows, handoffs, ball screens, and drives.
You step up, Hokies turn it over. And Mike Young on the grill of his staff after that possession.
How about this drive, Beatty? The kickback, Nolly gets the screen. But how about the wherewithal to take that dribble, create the space, and then the confidence to hit the shot. You find out a lot about yourself opening night, especially against a conference opponent.
In a one-possession game, no less. Mack turns it over. Nolly draws the contact, foul on the floor. Do they count the basket?
They shouldn't.
Mack picks up his fourth, and the basket does not count.
Freshman mistake. You see Hemingway just standing up sideways, trying to make that pass to Mack. Spacing not good. Virginia Tech sniffs it out. Hokies now 1-1.
Well, what a statement this would be if Virginia Tech can steal a road win In Mike Young's first game as a head coach with 10 newcomers, led by the man at the stripe, Landers Nolly, now with 29. And Virginia Tech has its largest lead of the game at 4.
I talked about Nolly and his quick release. Watch his technique at the line. No wasted motion. Great follow through. Mike Young has himself a player for the future.
Big possession for the men in white.
And yes, he was an ESPN 100 player.
Sims, the spin. Can't finish. And back to Virginia Tech with 3:55 to go. As well, point-blank opportunities to close out games. Paul, it didn't happen, and they're hoping it doesn't happen again like that this season.
The trip they made this summer to the World University Games in Italy, they won close games. Clemson thrived over in Italy against good competition, and they were able to win close games with a freshman backcourt. They're just going to pull together tonight here. The last 3.5 turnovers have been key for Clemson, I think. Just a little discombobulated on the offensive end. The defense has been outstanding.
Keep in mind, Virginia Tech already in the bonus. Tigers have managed just 13 second-half points so far after scoring 37 in the first 20 minutes. They need to find somebody with a hot hand. They need to find him fast. Virginia Tech with other ideas.
Brad Brownell with a little pressure. Back it up to man-to-man. And beside the 3-ball, this defense by the Tigers has been terrific.
Beatty turns it over. And here comes Chase Hunter.
Great rotation. Come down and get the steal.
Paul, where's the offense going to come from?
Amir Sims.
And on cue, he'll shoot a pair.
Yeah, Brad Brownell is moving him around. He's on the wing 1 minute. Next, he's in the middle of the floor. Sometimes you're going to see him post up. Just different ways to find Amir Sims on the offensive end. What I love about Sims, doesn't force the action when he's not open. He can facilitate, and if he doesn't shoot it, he gets on the glass.
Sims, a season ago, 75% free throw shooter, big miss. As Wilkins checks in, Bradford out.
Last year, Amir Sims, a role player. This year, a go-to guy. Big difference.
1 of 2 at the stripe. Lead is 4. And more full court pressure.
Yeah, like the trap. Nice split by Beatty. The heat is coming for the Tigers.
Nolly with a path and an open look. Well, that would have been big for Virginia Tech, but a fresh 20 on the offensive rebound.
And that was Isaiah Wilkins with the tap back. What a great hustle play.
Nolly picked up by Newman, back to the basket. 5 on the shot clock. Hokies have to hurry. Here's Wilkins. An open look from the corner. And the rebound finally claimed by Amir Sims. Newman off the glass. 1 possession game.
Big decision for Johnny Newman to take it to the rim.
Here comes the crowd at Little John. And Mike Young calls a timeout. One possession game back in Clemson, South Carolina, 2:16 to go, and John Newman coming up with a big basket, not before Sims went behind the back to save it.
Biggest defensive player of the night by Amir Sims. Down 4, leads to Johnny Newman on the drive. Cuts it to a deuce. A couple of minutes ago, Brad Brownell decided to energize his team in the crowd, started to pick up full court. It's paying off right now.
Beatty with a pass and a basket. 2 possession game.
Well, Dawes got screened. Nobody called it out, and there was no help. Off the screen.
Clemson will try to respond. Chase Hunter thought about it. The spin from the elbow is no good. And it pops out to Wilkins. Big exchange there. Nolly. And an offensive foul. Boy, the crowd held its breath for about 2.5 seconds.
That's a veteran. And he's not really... Great job of getting over in position, but a guy who didn't start a lot last year, Amir Sims, now he's into the starting role. Stepping in, taking a big-time charge.
Here's Sims. And fouled on the drive, Amir Sims. 1 of 2 at the line moments ago as Horn picks up the personal. And they're going to say that foul on the floor, so this should be a 1-and-1.
When Sims touches the basketball, good thing happens for the Tigers. The assist, he gets fouled, he's making shots. It's been a steady force for Clemson.
Big free throw here for the newly appointed leader of this club. And don't forget, coming up after the exclusive reveal of the first college football playoff rankings of the season, Champions Classic rolls on. Number 1, Michigan State. Number 2, Kentucky. 9:30 tonight over on ESPN. 2 of 2 at the line. The lead is 2 for Virginia Tech.
And here comes the heat from Clemson. Trying to trap him, force him, speed him up.
And the press pays dividends again.
The trap makes Beatty indecisive, turns it over.
Dawes off the crossover. Approaching a minute to play. Newman into traffic. The foul and free throws coming. And John Newman flexes with a chance to tie it up. And Isaiah Wilkins just fouled out. That's his 5th.
When you're aggressive in space, you get the call or you can get to the rim. Newman's got size on Wilkins, athleticism, a quick first step, but he never hesitated. He saw the space and he attacked. The result, you get to the free throw line.
Wilkins fouls out with 4 points on 1 of 7 from the floor. Newman, a 55% free throw shooter a season ago. And like his teammate Amir Sims, newly appointed leader for this club in 2019-2020. What a game this has turned out to be, Paul.
It's a conference game. The pressure is on by the ACC. Opening night. You gotta love this, Roy. It feels like January.
That it does.
Johnny Newman at the World University Games. 13 points a game over 6 games. 56% from the floor. It's carried over into opening night.
He's got 12 this evening. Make it 13 and we're tied. And listen to this crowd as the full court pressure comes back again. Nearly another turnover. Horn left open. Jams it in, and Tech is back in front. And a foul was called as well. Amir Sims tried to block it and had no chance at the rack.
Well, Sports Center Top 10. Take a look at P.J. Horn. One thing on his mind. Finish that, baby. And try to get out of here with a win.
7 points tonight for Horn. 75% at the stripe a year ago. 3 the hard way. And a timeout with 1:03 left.
That's a momentum-changing play by P.J. Horn. Clemson had him trapped in the backcourt. Beatty got out of it. He pushed it ahead. And what you got to do to pressure is attack it.
An inch away from a turnover, ends up with 3 points on the other side. A huge shift in momentum. And now for Clemson, still plenty of time. You're not necessarily thinking about a three-point opportunity here, are you?
Absolutely not. You got to continue to score or get to the line. And if you can get to the line, make those free throws, set up the press. I mean, Clemson's not a pressing team, but it's been valuable to them in the last few minutes.
Big night of college basketball. Don't forget SportsCenter. Head your way later tonight after the Champions Classic. Stick around for Scott Van Pelt. Post-game reactions from Madison Square Garden. Plus Reese Davis and company will join the Scott Van Pelt, the SportsCenter broadcast, as they take a look at the first college football playoff rankings and the Lakers trying to win 6 in a row. How about that? LeBron, AD getting it done. SportsCenter with SVP after Michigan State, Kentucky on ESPN and also the ESPN app.
Who do you have in the Michigan State-Kentucky game? Quick.
I got Kentucky. I'm not going against Coach Cal.
This is one of the few times I'm going to agree with you.
E.J. Montgomery, another talented freshman class. They look good.
Ashton Hagans, Tyrese Maxey, one of the most dynamic backcourts in college basketball. Yes, Michigan State has Cassius Winston. Langford's out. I'm going with the Wildcats.
Still a one-possession game. Clemson basketball.
1 minute remaining.
They got to go to Sims either for a touch or a bucket.
Dawes nearly lost the handle. Sims double-teamed right away. Dawes left open and rejected in the last second by Beatty. What a swat. Inside. And a chance for 3. No, they'll say that was basket interference. It went in anyways. Virginia Tech extends its lead.
Wasaba Beatty, alert and active on the ball. Dawes, a little slow on the release. Beatty with the quick block, the push. He's been a catalyst down the stretch for Mike Young.
Bisa Beatty, Jr.
The closeout with the high hand, the push and the find. 2 big-time assists in the last 2 minutes.
It's one thing to have the athleticism to block the shot. It's another to corral the loose ball and then to drop the dime on the other side.
Yeah, I watched Beatty in high school, Cushing Academy. He's always been a competitor and defender. Now he has a chance to be a leader. And he is leading the Hokies right now to a possible major upset.
40 seconds remaining. What do you like here for Clemson with the basketball?
Well, they try to go into Sims in the last possession. They did. Virginia Tech's going to double, so you have to know that. Maybe throw it to the weak side instead of throwing it back out. If not Sims, go to Tevin Mack.
Hunter lost the handle. There was contact and a foul. Couture, the guilty party. So he picks up his first, and 2 free throws coming for the Tigers, who are now in the double bonus. Boy, a lot of sudden momentum shifts late in this one.
If Dawes can make these 2, Clemson can set up the pressure, force a turnover. It could be a 1-possession game in a matter of seconds. And if you're Virginia Tech, you have to be really good with your press offense. You have 1 timeout left. You may have to use it.
Chase Hunter at the line, 0 for 3 tonight.
I mean, you talk about pressure. You're a freshman. You're going to the line to try to cut this game down. National TV ACC game.
Big miss.
This is a good-looking player for Brad Brownell. Love his speed. And he's feeling it right now. It's a mental game at the line.
The fastest players on this roster. finally connects from the stripe. Lead is 4, 35 seconds remaining, and Clemson's got to play the possession game at this point.
They got a chance for one trap, maybe two, then a foul.
And a reminder for those tuning in to watch St. Mary's and Wisconsin, that game will tip off on ESPN News. As Hunter picks up his third.
St. Mary's, top 25 team this year. Wisconsin, even though Ethan Happ isn't around anymore, I think they're an NCAA tournament team. That's going to be an exciting game tonight.
It's been exciting so far here. Plenty of work left to do for Mike Young in search of career victory number 300. Having never beaten Brad Brownell in 7 previous attempts. Big free throw for the Hokies. And one more coming for Naheem Aline.
Regardless of the outcome, if you're Mike Young, you're encouraged by the performance of your new players and your freshmen.
2 big ones. Tigers have to hurry. Newman. Little Euro step, puts it up and in. And Brad Brownell will utilize a timeout. 23 and change remaining, the lead back to 4.
I like the way they didn't panic. They didn't settle and take a bad 3 and end the game. Right to the rim. Use your timeout. Set up your press. Keep your composure. Play the foul game.
Well, think about what Virginia Tech
They have competed and scrapped here at Little John Coliseum. And they've made some threes. The first half, they were sensational from deep.
Still have to close this one out. Beatty. Triple team. A whistle. Free throws coming. Tevin Mack just fouled out.
So you lose a 3-point shooter in Mack. Eventually going to need to take one of those threes down the stretch. The Hokies have made 10 straight free throws in this half.
So the transfer from Alabama sits down. Boy, had a nice burst in the first half. 8 points in about 3 minutes on the floor. A couple of threes. And held in check for the most part in the second half. 11 straight free throws made by Virginia Tech. One more coming for Beatty. Mobisa Beatty. Clutch.
54% last year. You talk about improvement, a guy who worked on his game. You just said it. Clutch free throws on the road. He's turned into the leader for the Hokies.
Less than 20 seconds remaining. Dawes has to hurry. Inside to Sims. Back to Virginia Tech, and the Hokies can cinch it now.
Tell you what, Dawes has been terrific all night. That time pass a little bit late behind Sims. Right idea. Tough angle. Still a 2-possession game, Roy. You get a steal. If not, quick foul.
And Hunter fouls Beatty right away. What a win for Virginia Tech on the road. It's not over just yet, but certainly looks to be in their favor, coming in as a significant underdog on opening night.
Well, how did they do it? First half, the 3-ball. Kept them in the game. They were down 3 at the half. Second half, they come out real aggressive with their drive game. They've went to the free throw line all second half. I thought they've done a terrific job on the glass, not letting Clemson get second chance opportunities, and they've made stops when they had to.
Well, you can just feel the air come out of this arena on Beatty's block. Alamir Hawes about a minute ago. Hunter launches off the mark. Beatty the rebound, and that's going to do it. Virginia Tech, game 1 under Mike Young, finds a way on the road, defeating Clemson tonight by a final score of 67-60. Hokies have won 4 of their last 5 conference openers. This one as big as any of those. For Paul Biancardi, I'm Roy Philpott. Final score tonight, 67-60. We'll send